there. So we're back with part two. Did not mean for that to get cut off there. But we're back. We're back. No worries, no worries. But we are ready to rock and roll now. So come on back. So we'll finish up with part two, and then we'll close out the night. Steve's back on, and Zoe's back on. Thanks, guys. Just had a little bit of a glitch there. But getting back to what we were saying, yeah, Tangent is out there. They're not mentioned often. And I will tell you, they've got some really, really awesome stuff. Steve, if you're still on, elaborate a little bit on Tangent and your experience. Joanne comes on. What's going on? How are you? So we're live now with part two. Should Walthers do more Heritages for NS and UP? I would love for them to do a run of those. I know Athlon has done some runs of those, but I will tell you this much. I really hope that Walthers will do one. I really hope Walthers will do one. So, yeah, I would love for Walthers to do a run. So, yeah, really would like to see that. So, it's 9:41. We're going to continue this to about 10:15. If you have not watched part one of this stream, definitely go give it a look, because it had a lot of good conversations in there. So, yeah. So, as we continue to wind down this evening, we'll take some more questions, and then we'll end the night out. And yes, Randy agreed. That's going to be something for all the model railroaders to tackle now, because if they can do those, that would be great if they could do it. So, yeah. Really wish they would do those, because let me tell you, that would be something really cool if they can. Yes, Zoe agreed. Scale Trains is good. So, yeah. So, I've liked Scale Trains. Intermountain is good. I just don't have many of those pieces in my collection. But the good thing is, they're out there, and it's always another little option out there. So, but yeah, the Tangent cars look cool. Tangent cars look really cool. And plus, the detail on these things are excellent. So, we'll continue this till about 10 o'clock. So you do have some time to ask a few more questions as we end the night out. I've really enjoyed this tonight, and I'm really glad to see that the live streams have come back now, and I've been able to kind of get some time. But while as we're winding down the night, we've got some more time. I want to just give a few announcements of what I have real quick. Lots of stuff on the channel. Lots of stuff right now from this week. So please give those videos a look. Steve says the HO Tier 4s are coming out now at the end of June. Now, is that for Scale Trains? And is that going to be for both HO and N Scale, or just HO? Because I'm curious. The GP30s they've got out there, they look good, but I sure wish one was done in the Southern Railway scheme. I really wish they'd do one in the Southern Railway scheme, because it looked the best in the Southern Railway and the high hood cab. The standard cab, I would love to see. I'd love to see anybody with the Jeep 30, the Santa Fe, the Union Pacific, even the the Burlington Northern and some of the other ones. And okay, scale trains HO, that's for both rivet and operator. Yeah, but that's going to be really good. That's going to be really good. But Intermountain has done some runs of the Tier 4s as well in the past, I think. And Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think Intermountain has done a run of those. Hey, Pat, what do you think about the engine video I did post on video 4219? I haven't looked at it, but when I get a chance, I'll look at it. But 4219 has a beautiful horn on it, no question. So, really like that. Really, really, truly like that horn on 4219. So, yepers. But I've actually been working on some stuff. I've been upgrading cars and getting some fixed. Yeah, Intermountain has done Tier 4s. That's what I thought too, Steve. Thanks. Now, Steve, here's a question for you. Does Intermountain have like a rivet counter and operator series like Scale Trains does? Or do they just stick with one line and that's it? I think it's just one line that they do. I think it's just Intermountain trains. But they don't have the different lines like Athearn Ready to Roll, Athearn Genesis, Athearn Roundhouse, Scale Trains Operator Series, Scale Trains Rivet Counter. So I think it's just one line. If you can confirm with me, Steve, that would be great. The cab car 4219. Yeah, I know which one that is. Yeah, Standard Gauge Railroad gets that one sometimes too. That's got a really pretty horn on it. I think they have value line for their rolling stocks. Okay, that's more of the affordable line for the rolling stocks. Okay, thanks. Thanks. But yeah. But I really think this Q&A for June live was great. For July's, I will probably do this again. And let me look at a couple things real quick. All right. Yes, another announcement I would like to make really quick. Tonight is the last night to vote in my community section for the N-scale naming of the layout. It's down to Tidewater City and Engineer Pat City. Go to my community tab and vote. You have about 2 hours left to vote. If you have not yet voted, this is your time to cast. Because at this point now, this is going to be the deciding factor of what the layout name for the N-scale layout is going to be. So, this is your last chance to vote. So if you have not yet voted, this is your time to vote. My vote is Brian J., what's up? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. I'll get back to the live stream here in just a second. Hang on one second. We'll get back to it. And I know there were a few comments that came in. Hang on one second. Let's see who we got came in. Intermountain locomotives are either DCC equipped or DCC in sound. Okay, thanks. And Intermountain also purchased Red Caboose. Okay, Red Caboose was absorbed by Intermountain. ENC Shots, I think, was folded into another company, which that company folded into Scale Trains. Okay, Red Caboose is part of Intermountain. Thanks. Zoe's vote is in. Thank you very much. This has actually been a really good week of getting the votes in. I can see where votes have been really active, so I've been trying to use the community section a little bit to kind of get you guys involved a little bit more. So be on the lookout for some of the community posts because I will be actually posting some more of that stuff here very soon. So lots of stuff get ready to happen more with the channel for the summer, and premieres will start back. It's just had some personal circumstances for the last couple of months, so I've been finally trying to get that in there. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Brandon Brickhouse joins in and casts a vote. Thank you very much. And Zoe says no problem. And guys, your support is greatly appreciated and more. And I just would like all of you to know that as votes continue to go in, as well as ending the night out. A lot of people have asked me, where do you know how to build all your N-scale stuff? How did you build the layout and some of the accessories that you've built? Well, I'll give you guys the brief history on that. My dad collected HO trains in 1984. He had himself a little layout like what I've got, but his was longer. And he had HO. And I got a lot of the ideas from that layout. So I built a 3 foot by 3 foot square with 2x4s of the frame and joists and 1/4 inch plywood for the top. And the plywood I had from a previous project, and the only thing I had to purchase was the 2x4s. And I was able to get the river on there because the board was blue, as you saw in the video. But I was able to kind of paint around that section and then put the white ripples in there to make the river have a little wave effect. A lot of this was thanks to my dad. And all the buildings are HO except for, I believe, 2 buildings. So I was able to use a lot of the stuff from home. And the little Main Street tower, I made a little base out of it, was just out of a piece of scrap wood. Brian J. asked, where do you get your woodworking skills? I have one word for that. Dad. Out of all people, like, man, your dad's taught you all this? Yes. So, yes, it's been my dad through a lot of other people too. But my dad's been the core of it. I've just built some stuff over time. I have watched people build things. And another source that I will mention that is pretty good, that I really admire, is Norm Abram, the New Yankee Workshop. The New Yankee Workshop. Please search that. They have their own YouTube channel, and Norm builds a lot of stuff. The show is no longer in production, but they've been going back and uploading a lot of the old episodes. So if you really want to look at some advanced woodworking stuff, definitely check out the New Yankee Workshop. And Brian says, impressive, that's awesome, great, Dad. Thank you so much. And guys, please tell your parents you love them every day. And you give them a hug, you give them a call, you tell them you love them, and you spend time with them as much as you can. And same with your grandparents if you have any left. Because Brian J. makes a very, very good point that you take the time to spend with your family. You help your family out in times of, doing things and other responsibilities. But one of the things I recommend, you spend time with your family as much as you can. So, and I will leave that little part right there. So I wanted to express that, and Brian makes a very good point. Thank you very much. And Steve asked, should Scale Trains do the FBC ES44 C4s? I would love for them to do those. Because that would be a really cool project for them. I'd love to see them in BNSF. I really would love to see the BNSF. I would even also like to see them do the SD70 M-2s. I really would love for them to do those in Rivet Counter and Operator Series. And I would love for them to do, there's another locomotive out there. I would love them to do the 40Es. I would love for them to do those. So, and even the Santa Fe C40 and B40-AWs, they would be really good since they've already done the Dash 9 and the AC4400. I would love for Scale Trains to expand a little bit more. So, yeah. So, but like I said, guys, we're continuing to wind down everything. So, if you have any last-minute questions that you would like to ask, please do. Genesis has done the M-2s. I make it as one since the real ones are back. Yes, I remember when those things were brand new. Back in 2005, 2006, 2007. I remember when they were brand spanking new from EMD. So, seeing those babies back, I love them. When they throttle up, buddy, and I've seen quite a few of them since they've been released, let me tell you something. Those things sound remarkable. I love them. It's the DC form of an Ace, because that was the ancestor to the Ace. They basically kept the same overall appearance, but put AC traction and upgraded the electronics in it. That's pretty much what that is. The DC version was the ancestor. Then you had the Ace first gen, then the second gen, and then technically a third gen, technically. And then, of course, you have the Tier 4 model, and he goes on and on from there. So, yeah, but that's the ancestor to the NS Ace and all the other Aces. But The M-Q, seeing those back on NS, I'm really happy. And I'm glad to see CN, it still has theirs. I don't think those have PTC in them. I don't think. But I've always liked CN. I've always liked CN. I've always liked Norfolk Southern. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, but seeing the M-2s back on NS, glad to see those have made a return. Because those are really good locomotives. Because basically, give it a little bit of TLC and it's good to go. Because the older engines were built tough. SD40-2s, they were built tough. Same with GP38-2s and GP40-2s. You still see a bunch of those engines still roaming the rails because, they've been taken good care of, and plus they were built to last a lifetime. It's all how the way things were built. But I've always preferred EMD over GE. Now my favorite GE wide cab, and I agree with Randy on this, C40-8W and the C40-8 standard cab. I've always liked those just because it's classic GEs. Dash 8W looked good, and even the B40-8Ws, both of those look good in Santa Fe paint. The C40-8 looked good in CSX 1 and 2. It also looked good in the Conrail Blue and also the NS Thoroughbred scheme. Actually, it's the... what's the name of that scheme? Shoot. I call it the Whisker scheme because that's where the lines go across the side of the locomotives. Yeah, but that was the 80s scheme when they got started, and then of course the Horsehead scheme came out in 2004 on the last order of the Dash 9s, and then all the engines went later into that scheme. So yeah, a lot of cool engines. Have been produced by these companies, and some of them are still out there, still pulling freight around the country. So, gives you a chance to definitely appreciate rail history. By the way, the last train I caught in Old Lathe had new 4600s C6Ms trailing. Wow, they were just rebuilt out of Fort Worth. That's good. Glad to see those Dash 9s are technically getting a second life. Because I know those have been getting a cab upgrade, overhauled prime mover, and AC traction and all that. But just glad to see those engines are getting another life. Because you can rebuild a locomotive and you can definitely save some money. So that's what all the railroads are doing. They're rebuilding what they have. And they save a lot of money because they can rebuild it, put the new equipment in it, put a fresh coat of paint if it needs it, get it back out. So that's awesome. Glad to see the railroads are doing this because almost all the railroads right now have rebuild programs. NS, CSX, UP, BNSF. I think CN has had some, well, they technically had upgrade programs, but I think hopefully soon they'll be rebuilding some more. But some railroads like to do the half rebuilds, like with BNSF's SD70 Max and also the C4Ms. The C4Ms are the ex-Santa Fe Dash 9s. They kept the same cab and everything. They just upgraded the inside and also overhauled the prime mover and the electrical system and put a fresh coat of H3 on some of them. The Max, it was done the same way. They kept the same cab, overhauled the prime mover, upgraded the inside, put PTC in there, and put a whole fresh coat of H3 on them. That's only for some. Now, the B40-8, some of those were rebuilt for remote control service in the yards. Those were rebuilt by GE, and they kept the same cab, just got the inside upgraded. I think the overhaul of the prime mover and gave them a nice coat of H3. There were only a very small handful of those rebuilt. But definitely cool to see these locomotives get a second life. Because, let me tell you something, you can definitely upgrade a locomotive very, very inexpensive and very, very quickly. And because that's sooner that locomotive gets back on the road. So, it is with that, guys. We will end it here for the night. I apologize for the two-part. We had a little small technical glitch, but we were able to work through that, which I'm happy with. So, that's a wrap for tonight. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Great to see everyone here. Live streams are coming back. Hopefully, I'll be doing one here in the next week or so, and we'll definitely be doing this again. And I wish UPnB has rebuilt their Dash UWs like what CSX has done with theirs. Well, yeah, but BNSF rebuilt some of the Dash 9s and the B40s, but the C40-8Ws were sold off to CN. And I think CN still has those, if I'm not mistaken. But I kind of wish UP kept theirs as well as some of the Dash 9s. But anyway, but that's a wrap for the night. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. It is great to see everyone back. And as always, guys, smash the like button, drop a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell for the latest updates. The channel's been hot with various model railroad products that I've been working on. But hopefully soon that premieres will be starting to come back here very, very soon. So really happy to see everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming in on both parts. And Steve, thank you so much for all the help as always. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, guys. May God bless. And I will see you down the main. And as always, have a great weekend. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.